Alright, probably time to do another vlog. So, it's Friday again. It's grey and wet. It's been grey and wet all day, which is a bit weird. It's a bit like a British summer. It's a lot like a British summer. About 16 degrees it got down to today. It was quite chilly, that's why I got a vest on. So, got a few new bits for the KTM. Got a fan for it to help keep it cool in these hot climates and tight twisty trails. Got some new indicators to go on it because there was two, the front ones were hanging off, they were just taped on. Got those to go on, they've come this week. I need to get a relay for the fan so I can wire the fan in. Got myself a nice new bench, which my wife has claimed. So I've basically just lost this much garage. But most importantly, what has happened is we have got another bike. So not only do we have the big KTM at the minute with a supermoto full retard setup ready for the road, which is pretty cool, but we've got a purpose trail riding, two-stroke Husqvarna 2016 250cc electric start, which is really weird. See that on there. As well as kickstart, still has a kickstart, which is quite handy. Because yeah, the big KTM's good fun, but it is a big bike to try and throw around the little forest trails. And I do like to buy a bike, and a man can never have too many bikes. Everybody knows that. And yeah, I do like to buy a good deal, and this was a very good deal. Really well looked after, 2016 Husky TE250. Got even more money knocked off when I got there because he said the starter motor didn't work, and he said he'd tested it, and I thought, it's only done like 70 hours and it's only done about 2,500 Ks. There's no way the starter motor's knackered. On these, just sits in there. So I got it back home, took the seat off, there was no battery. So I thought, surely not. Surely it's not just a battery. So I borrowed the battery off big KTM, stuck the battery in it, still nothing. Found my way to the start relay that was hidden in the airbox. Found the start relay, found the fuse. Fuse was popped. Stuck a fuse in it. There was a spare fuse next to it. Bloody magpie. Anyway, stuck the fuse in and away she went. So, ordered a battery. Oh, losing my camera. Ordered a battery. And now the rest of them are started. Can you believe it? Ordered a battery, and that just turned up today. It's now Friday, so first run out. I picked it up last Saturday. Had a little bit of a look over it Sunday. So plan is now I'm gonna set suspension back to factory. Preload on the rear. The guy was about my weight, so we should be somewhere near on the back. I don't need to worry about the sag just yet. I'm just going to set the damping settings on the suspension to whatever the factory settings are, which, as usual, we've got a box of bits. All the standard pipes. It's got an SX cylinder head on it. It's got Pro Circuit header pipe and I can't remember the name of it. Vance Leo, is it? Tailpipe. It's got Stegs pegs to help you grip on. It's got quite a few cool bits. There's the tailpipe, nice few little carbon bits on it. But yeah, she's a nice bike, good tyres, good chain sprockets, really clean, really well looked after. Yeah, nice enduro bike, proper enduro bike. So So yeah, we shall have a look at setting that lot tonight, getting the new battery on it so that I've got electric start for the forest, which will be very novel. It feels a bit like cheating, but I guarantee now if I'm stuck on the side of a hill on a steep angle, the last thing I want to be doing is trying to kick that thing to get it to start. When you've maybe just had to pick it up because you've fallen over, quite possibly. So yeah, electric start is going to be real handy in the forest. And it's got a fan as well. This bike doesn't come with a radiator fan as standard, but because it's got a battery, it's quite easy to sort of retrofit one. So there is a little fan in there, back radiator, and let's switch. Well, that switch there to turn it on and off. So eventually I'll try put a thermo switch in somewhere in the cooling system, so it's automatic, so I don't have to worry about it. It'll just come on when it needs to. Same as this one. Got factory fan for the big KTM. Found it on eBay. This is the same part number as what's in the KTM book for this bike. So some of these did have a fan. That's the fan that came on some of these bikes. And yeah, these are really cool. Oh, I might have just broken them. Probably not because they're hardcore, but these little indicators. Check out those. Tiny little indicators. So they're probably going to go on the front of this bike. Oh, I might put them on the back. I might get another pair and have a pair on the front, a pair on the back. But yeah, dinky little things. E-marked. They're made by Oxford. They're proper stuff. Come with resistors as well that Oxford have made, so that you don't have to change your flasher relay. So they'll flash at the normal speed. So yeah, we'll maybe get those on this weekend. But main thing is get out on the new bike, see how it rides. So yeah, check suspension, set everything to factory, check tyre pressures, check gearbox oil. I've already checked coolant. Yeah, just give it a once over, make sure it's right. And then tomorrow we shall go for a little blast through the forest and probably get very, very wet.
You wanna get away, you better get in line. Won't go another day of wasting any time. I've got a lot to say, can't hold it in this time. Got no filter, I got no filter. 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 No filter, I got no filter.
Alright, ready to go. Brakes feel good, tyre pressure's needed adjusting a bit, and suspension needed adjusting a bit, so everything's back to factory settings. so we've got a good base to start from, so see if it rides alright, see how it handles with my weight. Put an air filter, well, it came with a couple of spare air filters, but for some reason he hasn't been oiling them. Maybe that's an enduro thing, I don't know, enlighten me, but the oil's part of the filter as far as I'm concerned, part of the filtration. So I've oiled the spare ones, I've just put one of the spare ones in, put the new battery in, that's good to go, it cranks over. Just got to get my gear together now. We'll mix up some fuel, chuck some fuel in it tonight so it's ready to go tomorrow morning, and yeah, sling my gear together and then go for a ride in the forest. Yeah, I'll let you know what it's like. Definitely going to get a decent camera at some point when I can afford it, and film some of these trails because they're awesome. So we'll be able to add that in as well. At the minute, the GoPro, yeah, it's a really old one and it's pretty like rough and sketchy sort of video when you try and do it. So yeah, we'll have to invest in a new one. So anyway, there it is. Factory suspension set for damping and rebound, compression, all that lot. Tyre pressure set to 12 and 14 psi. Start at that, see what happens. Yeah, she is ready to go. All right. Yeah, make some gas and kick some ass. Look at this, unexpected. It's 6:30 in the morning. It should be sunshine and glorious day. It is summer. I mean, it's 20 degrees. So it's not cold, but it's wet and miserable today, and there's been a hell of a lot of rain come down overnight, so yeah, I don't think we're going riding today. I'm not anyway, because I don't think it'd be rideable. Let's do something else. Everybody's grumpy because it's raining, which I don't blame them, but gives me an excuse to have a look at how this fan's been wired in, because yeah, it's just a switch on the bars, and because that fuse was popped on the starter and the brake lights are disconnected, there's some wires for the rear indicators and I think rear number plate that are just slung under the seat. I need to get in and check how that fan's been wired in. So I think they've just found whatever feed they could and just sort of tapped into that, where really it at least wants to be on its own fuse, really through a relay, but I just need to check that. So yeah, that's what I shall do now because it's too wet and horrible to go riding. So there's the fan. I don't know if this is a kit that is bought for this bike, but it's just on there. No ignition switch on these, just kill switch. That's just wired permanent to the battery, but I'm just I'm gonna pull this back, have a look in there, and see where it's connected to and how well it's connected, and then reconnect stuff like the brake switches, get brake lights working again, get everything working as it should do, and find a proper supply for the fan. That's the other thing as well. Horn's been disconnected, so I'm going to I suspect that might be where the feed is taken from for the fan. That's probably why the horn's off. So the horn is in the box bits, so yeah, let's dig it out, try and get that working as well, because that is handy sometimes if you're riding with a bunch of guys and You're trying to get their attention. Having a horn definitely helps. So, and if I do want to register it for the road, which it can be, it is a road registerable bike, kind of need all those things working. So yeah, let's try and get everything working, and then try and get that fan wired in a bit safer and a bit more proper.
Did he do these things? That is something you must decide on the evidence coolly, without emotion, unaffected by the horrific nature of some of the evidence which you have heard. After a trial that lasted 2.5 weeks, the jury of 7 women and 5 men was sent out on January 29th, 1988. 5 hours later, they returned. Did he do these things? That is something you must decide on the evidence coolly, without emotion, unaffected by the horrific nature of some of the evidence which you have heard. After a trial that lasted 2.5 weeks, the jury of 7 women and 5 men was sent out on January 29th, 1988. 5 hours later, they returned.
So everything was good on the Husky, fan was fine, can't do much else with that. Picked up this relay, some heat shrink, bits and pieces, so I can do the fan on the big KTM. So get these sorted, get that on whilst I've got now better to do. Wire into that thermo switch, wire that into the relay, wire the fan through the relay, and that should be about it. Bish bash bosh. Alright, there we are. Got a relay, a fuse, and that runs there to the fan on the radiator. The relay is triggered by that thermo switch, which was already in there, so that's KTM put that in there just to blank off the radiator. So all that's left to do now is fire it up, get the engine warm, get the coolant hot, and hopefully when this thermo switch gets hot, that'll join those 2 wires together, which will give an earth to that relay, which will trip it in. I've already tested it, give it an earth, the fan comes in, works. So let's see if that switch works, and we've got an automatic thermo fan. Sweet, fan works, thermo switch works, fully automatic. It'll just come on when it needs to, goes off when it's cooled down. awesome. That's a big weight off your mind, because I took it out on the road a couple of weekends ago, and as you got back into town, sort of hit some traffic, and I was instantly thinking, is it going to overheat? You know, just sat at a set of traffic lights for a few minutes, well, not even a few minutes, it's a few seconds. If you've just been thrashing it through the country roads and then you pull up in town and stopped at some lights, is it going to chuck a load of water out? But yeah, that's the overflow. It's looking good. So yeah, big bonus. All we've got to do now is box it up, box this lot inside beside the ECU, get it all tied up, get cover back on, get seat back on, job done. Nice rainy day job complete. And seeing as though it's a day for electrics, why not? Really impressed with these. Tiny little indicators by Oxford, proper stuff, E-marked, but yeah, really small. Not going to get smashed off when you go off-road. Looks smaller than my thumb. Yeah, chuffed with them. You could put them on the back and they'd be like, they'd be about that big. Make a difference, wouldn't it? Not going to smash them off. So yeah, I like that. The ones that were on it were the same size as what's on the back, massive things, and yeah, they were hanging off, been taped on. Going to do well to smash them off. Too small to get anything near them. I reckon that'll do for today then. Seems we didn't get any riding in, but got those indicators on. Got the fan in, tested it, working. Fully automatic, fit and forget, full factory fan, just not the wiring, but it's probably better than the factory wiring, to be fair. Husky's all ready to go for its first test ride, or my first test ride with it, hopefully. This weather stays dry overnight. I'm not sure it will, but hopefully it does. The ground will get a bit of a chance to dry out and we'll get a ride on that tomorrow. Yeah, sweet as. Catch you next time.